My name's Peter Champion, and once again here we are in the collection, and today we're looking at the Ford Sierra from '89. After Brocky had his big split with Holden and went to Bathurst with a BMW, and then he told me that to be able to keep up and to compete against the current day race cars at Bathurst, that he would have to join them. And here we have the Ford Sierra, which beautiful car for a Ford, that is. Peter, when I had in my collection at Yeppoon, he came along, sat in the car again, had a great look at it, and when we're walking around it, I said to him, the Ford badge has gone, Brocky, from in the front here. And he said, oh yeah, he said, I couldn't race it with a Ford badge. My father wouldn't have been real fond of that, so that's another little story that I was lucky enough to have Brocky tell me. But this car at Bathurst, you got to remember, Pete turned up in a Ford Sierra, put it on pole position, and was doing very well in that event on the Sunday, and they cross-threaded the back wheel and put him out of the race. So unfortunately for Brocky, or fortunately for all us fans, he didn't win Bathurst in a Ford, did he?
You know, Brock in a Ford was emotional for a lot of fans at the time.
Well, let's just talk about the Sierra actually, because he had to drive that to be competitive. Like he's up at the mountain there in the BMW the year before, getting flogged and drove the wheels off it, but he had to turn up, and he told me he had to turn up in what everybody else was racing. So at the time, that's a Ford Sierra, and I enjoyed standing in the collection and him telling me some stories about that car. Amazingly, he put that car on pole position in '89, and there's a little bit of a story to that too, but yeah. Then I said to him, how come there's no Ford badges? As you can see, the Ford badges are plucked off, and he said, my dad wouldn't forgive me if I raced it with a Ford badge. So there we have it.
That was a popular story amongst the collection, pointing out that Brock had no Ford badges on his Sierras.
Yeah.
And that he had to race it to be competitive. That was the most competitive car on the track at the time.
Yeah.
And
well, I was always amazed at his sponsorship back then, because as you can see, he had Sid Chrome sponsorship. It's across the front where the Ford badge was. And I've got a big banner in my collection that Brocky says, trust Sid Chrome spanners. My nuts depend on it. So how good's that? But anyway, you know, he could have very well won Bathurst in a Ford.
very easily. He was competitive in '89, and you know, building the road cars for Ford at the time as well.
That's exactly right. And what happened in the race day in '89 was they cross-threaded one of the wheel nuts on the back wheel, and the wheel fell off. So yeah, so that's what happened there.